Was an American hero. He, as soon as the war started to escalate, he enlisted in the Navy.
Midway stars Ed Skrein, Aaron Eckhart, Patrick Wilson, Luke Evans, Mandy Moore, and Nick Jonas were all at the premiere for the movie last week, and we got none of them. However, we did talk to two Midway actors who provided some fun facts about iconic Hollywood film director John Ford, who joined the Navy during World War II and was at the Midway battle. All right, we're here at the, well, not so much red carpet, the premiere of Midway. Congratulations on the role.
Oh, thank you so much. It's truly an honor.
Who do you play?
I play the Marine captain on Midway Island, so I'm the head military authoritative role of reference on the island, and I host John Ford, the famous Hollywood director.
So he's in the movie, huh?
Yeah, in spirit, yes. Goeffrey Blake does an amazing job of bringing John Ford back to life on the screen.
And what was the director doing there anyway? Was he documenting the war, or what was he doing? Was he fighting?
Yeah, it's it's based on true events. He was doing a documentary about Midway and about the war, and the irony is they get caught. They get caught in
I didn't know that about
things. So without giving too much away. So. Okay,
I learned from your co-star that John Ford, the famous director, is in this movie. I didn't know that he was somehow involved in this whole battle.
Was an American hero. He, as soon as the war started to escalate, he enlisted in the Navy, and he went to work for the Naval Film Department. And he's responsible for all that footage that you see that came, the archive footage from the Battle of Midway. He arrived at Midway. He was pretty sure that somebody had hoodwinked him in the Navy, that they had played a funny trick on him because nothing was happening. And 24 hours later, boy, something was happening. And at the time that the Japanese started to appear in the sky and they were coming towards the island, he was encouraged by the Navy to get to safety. He refused to get to safety, and he ran to the top of the building with his cameraman, and he stood there and he filmed every one of these planes coming in. To his unsafetyness, is that a word, unsafetyness? Probably not.
It is now.
It is now. Well, John Ford would love it. Unsafetyness. What are you, an idiot? So he actually ran up and ultimately ended up being very injured. A shrapnel from one of the bombs blew him backwards, ripped open his shoulder, and through it all, he continued to film. Keep filming is what he kept yelling at his cameraman. Yeah, this man is a hero.
Now, did you have any, well, obviously no first-hand accounts, but did you have any family members talk about his time?
I did a lot of research. I'm one of those method actors. And I did talk to some people in his circle. And the main thing I learned about John Ford is that he was a no-nonsense guy. That's his accent right there. He's from Maine, of Irish descent. He liked his whiskey. So he was a pretty gruff guy, very machismo. What he said, he meant. But he also had a wicked sense of humor. And so to be here and to be at the event, I learned why he was there and what drove him. He was a son of immigrants, and then he became America's #1 director at a time of capturing. His movies are vast. The Cinescope. He's the founder of Cinescope. The John Wayne films. The Grapes of Wrath is one of the greatest American films ever made that captured Americana. The Dust Bowl and the purple migrating across the country. I think John Ford movies still live today, and I think John Ford would love this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And John Ford would love Roland Emmerich.
Now, do you know if Roland emulated some of the footage that John Ford saw?
For sure. Roland films big. I mean, he has a vast canvas, and John Ford was known for his vast canvas. And there's a great story about John Ford when a very, very young Steven Spielberg came to visit him on the lot at Universal, and he was asking him questions about some painting that was on his wall. May have been a photo. I think it was a painting. And Steven described it very well, specific, very accurate. And he said to him, well, son, as soon as you're seeing the horizon, then you'll be a director. And I think you did pretty well, Stephen. You saw the horizon damn well. So,
I think he did good for himself.
yeah, you made a pretty good war film yourself, Saving Private Ryan.
Given that it's based on historical events, we're going to quiz you, a little history quiz. But they're easy. They're pretty easy. Okay. What is the significance? What is the significance of Midway?
The significance.
What did it accomplish?
Oh, thank you. Okay. Well, it was a lot would agree it was the biggest naval war of our time, our generation. I'm sure the Spartans and the Persians had some gnarly ones too. But, very pivotal because it was post-Pearl Harbor. And, Churchill is summoning civilian boats to, retreat all the troops off the beaches in Europe. So there's just so many dynamics. You got Mussolini, you got Franco, you've got the emperor in Japan, and then you've got Hitler himself. And it's this alliance of dictatorship. It would be a very different world today. But this was just huge for our freedoms today, our freedoms abroad. Just humbling to be a part of the whole thing, really.
It's crazy to think now there are all these shows that are what ifs, like what if the Russians landed on the moon? What if the Nazis won the war? What if the Japanese took the mainland? How crazy would that be?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's these infinite scenarios are left to the imagination, but it's thank goodness.
All right, so I've been testing people's historical knowledge. So what was the significance of Midway Battle?
Midway Battle was the quintessential naval battle. It was the answer to Pearl Harbor. It was the battle that turned around the naval battle against the Japanese in the South Pacific. It is the one that actually won the war against the Japanese. It really, really crippled the Japanese Navy. It took out their main aircraft carriers. Last week, they just found one of the main aircraft carriers, a deep, deep, deep dive in the South Pacific. It was American heroes. Against all odds, we should never have won that battle. But through American might, American craftiness, and American grit, which John Ford preached, we won, and we won big.
You passed with flying colors. Thank you very much. Nice talking to you.